Hello, Squirrel Tribe. It is time to talk about that rally in Houston, Texas with Kamala Harris and Beyonce and Willie Nelson. And the fact that the entire thing was a farce, that Kamala Harris and her campaign lied to everybody for the last week leading up to this rally in Houston, Texas. Not only Kamala's campaign, but CNN, MSNBC, USA Today, Washington Post, literally anybody who wrote an article or had some sort of discussion about it on TV were telling people that there was going to be a free concert at the Kamala Harris rally in Houston, Texas, because Beyonce was going to be there. You know what happened? Beyonce showed up. Beyonce spoke for like 2 minutes, and then Beyonce went to hell back home. You know what Beyonce did not do? Sing one single note. Not one single note. 30,000 people showed up to a Kamala Harris rally, but let's be really honest right here. 30,000 people showed up to what they thought was going to be a Beyonce concert and just happened to have a Kamala Harris rally attached to it. If there had been a Beyonce concert and they had done that first, do you understand how nobody would have stayed afterwards for the Kamala Harris rally? They were only there in hopes of seeing Beyonce perform. Because a Beyonce ticket costs more than probably your car payment, more than your grocery bills for the last month, which we know how expensive groceries are, right? I just went and got a carton of eggs, 18-count eggs, 2 packs of tofu, organic, so it's not bad for you, 1 thing of butter, and a small bag of mixed vegetables, and it cost me $21. 5 things that fills half of a bag, and it cost me $21. Imagine how much it costs to feed an entire family of 3 or 4 or more each time you go. And that is still not as expensive as a Beyonce ticket, okay? The people that were there are so pissed off right now that it's absolutely ridiculous. Listen to this. Kamala had 30,000 people come out to her rally in Houston and promised them a Beyonce concert. Instead, they got Willie Nelson playing the guitar strung out for a few songs. Let's just put this into perspective. If you thought you were getting Beyonce, would you be at all okay with getting an almost 100-year-old white folksy hippie country artist playing a guitar? How does that translate to a Beyonce audience? Generally speaking, it doesn't. Yes, Beyonce made this country album, or tried to. It was a complete mockery of country music, in my opinion, and it was absolute bullshit. And the only reason it got any kind of airplay time is because her husband, Mrs. Jay-Z, that's what I like to call him because he looks like your lesbian black aunt, he paid tons of money to get her country song pushed out over the airwaves because nobody wants to hear Beyonce sing country. A lot of people don't want to hear Beyonce sing anything. But anyway, then, after Willie Nelson played a couple songs, Beyonce rolled out and spoke literally for about 2 minutes in total. Why does anyone trust anything this woman says if she will lie about a Beyonce concert just to get a crowd? Which is the important question. How can you trust anything that comes out of Kamala Harris's mouth if she's willing to lie to you to get you to one of her rallies so she can say that she had a bigger rally, higher numbers than Donald Trump? Because that's the only reason she did what she did. So she could say her rally was bigger than Donald Trump's rally in Duluth, Georgia last week. And guess what? It still wasn't. It still wasn't. And the difference here is those people showed up to the Donald Trump rally in Duluth, Georgia because they wanted to. They weren't promised anything but Donald Trump himself. And they showed up because that's what they wanted. These people did not show up for Kamala Harris. They showed up for Beyonce. Beyonce didn't hit one damn note on that stage. There was no dance routine. The single ladies did not put their hands up, but somehow we're just going to act like that never happened and that Kamala's campaign did not spend an entire week saying how there would be a free concert. And let's not forget to mention, they even found Kelly Rowland, one of the 3 of Destiny's Child. They got her to come out and do some half-baked Destiny's Child routine, but there was 2 other Destiny's Child people. There was Latoya, and there was Michelle. Neither one of them came out. Either way, the entire campaign is a fraud. The entire thing yesterday was just a complete dumpster fire when it comes to how things went at this rally in Houston. So I want you guys to see something else here that's extremely important. When Kamala Harris is on stage, okay, this is in the Houston rally. I want you guys to see this and hear this. So I'm going to read this to you first. Kamala Harris gets booed off stage in an embarrassing attempt to mix a political rally with a free Beyonce concert. rumor has it, okay, this is rumor. No, I can't promise this part is real, but rumor has it Beyonce demanded a large sum of money and refused to even travel outside of Houston, Texas, which is why Kamala held her rally in Houston, which is also where Beyonce lives, in Houston. She's like, I'm not setting foot outside of my city. You either come to me or I'm not going to do anything for you. Beyonce has a private jet, y'all, and could have easily gone to a swing state, could have taken her anywhere, but they went to Texas. That shows how little even Beyonce cares about this election or Kamala Harris. Americans everywhere are tired of this evil group of psychopaths running our country into the ground. Never before has that been more obvious. And I fully agree with that. I want you to see this video first, before we even show you Kamala Harris. I want you to see this. I'm not going to play the audio of it because it doesn't really matter, but this is at the Kamala Harris rally, and look at this woman getting up there and screaming in the face of a child. And there finally is at least one Kamala Harris supporter who has some brain cells, that female who pushed that girl away and was like, that is a child. You do not get in the face of a child and scream. And she continues yelling at this man holding this girl, all because this man on this side of the aisle is pro-Trump and not Kamala Harris. And this girl is losing her ever-loving mind over something. At no point in time do children need to be pulled into this situation. You should never, as a grown-ass woman, put your face in the face of a child and start screaming at them. That woman would have been shitting teeth out for a week if I had been there. I don't care if that's my child or not. It still would have been dealt with differently. The woman who stopped her, much calmer than I would have been, because there are certain things I do not play about, and getting in the face of a child and screaming like that is one of those things I do not play about. So that to me was huge. But this is what I want you to see. Beyonce now has officially endorsed Kamala. After she got up on stage, she officially endorsed Kamala Harris. But here's the problem. She declared that the most critical issue, right, is a woman's right to make choices about her own body. And I believe that. I believe women should have the ability to make choices about their own body. However, Beyonce says, including the option to end a pregnancy, which, even when the baby has a heartbeat. The emphasis, she emphasizes support for abortion access up to birth. That is just demonic, satanic, in my personal opinion. It allows for a healthy woman to make this decision at any stage of pregnancy and for any reason. And I want you to hear exactly what Beyonce has to say, although a lot of people will feel the same way about her voice as they do about Kamala Harris's. We're not going to play the whole thing, just a little clip so you can hear Beyonce telling everybody that the reason she's supporting Kamala Harris is because she believes that you should be able to murder a baby up to the moment you're crowning and the head is coming out your vajayjay. So let's listen.
H-Town.
You guys can hear that, hopefully.
We are so happy to be standing here on this stage as proud country Texas women supporting and celebrating the one and only Vice President Kamala Harris.
She's reading a teleprompter also, just so you're all fully aware. Teleprompters are involved.
A woman who's been pushing for what this country really needs right now. Unity.
The death of babies? Okay.
It's impossible not to feel the energy in this room.
Where's the cheering coming from?
The community, the humanity.
Nobody behind her is cheering.
We are at the precipice of an incredible shift, the brink of history.
Are they faking the cheering? Because nobody behind her is making noise.
I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother. A mother who cares deeply about the world my children and all of our children live in.
Look, I'm going to stop it right there, because if you are a mother who cares about the world your children and all of the children live in, you would not be voting for Kamala Harris. How can you stand up there and say that you're there because you're a mother and then say that you believe that abortion should happen up until the baby literally draws its very first breath, like right up until that moment, head halfway out your vajayjay, you should be able to abort a child? No, there's something severely morally wrong with this woman and with the left, that they think that that is the way this should go, that they think that that is okay. Now, during this rally, there was a moment where Kamala Harris thought that the best thing that she could possibly do was to bring out a bunch of doctors and white Dr. Coates, right? Whatever they're called. I can't think of the word, to talk about how important abortion is and how important the reproductive rights of women are. But they forget to point out that abortion is not reproduction. They're completely polar opposites of each other. But if they were to sit up there and say that, you know, Kamala Harris is for the decimation of reproductive rights for women, they wouldn't go as far. So they have to label it as reproductive rights, even though it's all about aborting babies. Nothing in there has been about anything else but aborting babies. But during this time, there is an actual issue in the stands. It looks like a man is having a seizure, and all of those doctors on stage had to call for a real doctor to go help because they have no effing clue what they're doing. I guess saving a life is not exactly the same as murdering an unborn one in a uterus. So I want you guys to see exactly what this is. It's only 52 seconds long, but why she needed to parade out this many people in white lab coats, that's the word I was looking for, is absolutely beyond me. And then she talks about trying to, you know, make it safe for women and make everything about women. Out of this entire group, she has a man standing at the podium to give the speech. You have women on there. Why didn't you let the women talk, Kamala? Let's see. Listen, if this will play. Sometimes there we go.
Becoming ill and dying. Nationwide, I think someone needs some medical assistance over here.
Doctor, maybe you could go help? No? The irony of a stage full of doctors who can't go help somebody. Little interesting to me. All of them looking around like they're confused as to what's going on. I don't think they actually show the person who's having the seizure in this one. They're just standing there, confused, lost, not knowing what to do. I mean, what is the point in them? Now, I looked it up and I said, do you have to have any sort of degree or idea on what you're doing in order to perform abortions? Because I was like, there's no way. It seems to me that people that are performing abortions, they don't know how to do anything. But according to this, I said, are abortion doctors really doctors? And it says, yes, abortion doctors are doctors who are trained to provide abortion care. It feels like a Kamala Harris kind of answer, where word salad, it didn't really say anything, but it says that obstetricians and gynecologists, right? But now they're saying even primary care physicians, like somebody you would go to make sure that maybe you don't have diabetes or whatever, that now they're allowed to perform abortions. That feels weird to me. Maybe it's because I'm not a doctor or a nurse or anything else, but it feels weird to me that certain doctors would be able to perform that kind of surgery, which I don't even know if it's called a surgery at that point, but it says abortion is considered an essential component of women's health care. I'm sure it is, but so are actual reproductive rights, making sure your uterus is healthy and good to go and you can reproduce or whatever else. But anyway, well, let's get back to where we were. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is Kamala Harris at the Houston, Texas rally, and the whole thing literally descended into chaos. And I want you guys to see exactly what happened. If I can get this audio to work. Here we go. The video is kind of trashy, but here's Kamala. It's very bright. And there's that small rally down the street comment again. She just recycles the same word salad shit every single time she talks. We'll show them the way. But then they literally start booing her. This is where she kind of loses control. But all that noise, where is it coming from? Again, behind her, there's nothing. Now there's a couple people yelling. And she's doing her hyena cackle laugh because she doesn't know what else to do while she's being booed at her own rally. And the reason she's being booed is because people are pissed that Beyonce is not performing. Beyonce has spoken and Beyonce has left. Beyonce is not singing and people are mad. Yeah, that's all we really need to see from that. So here's the thing. Her entire rally yesterday was more of a shoot herself in the foot than anything else. Every time this woman opens her mouth, she hurts her chances. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Ma'am, do another rally or two before November 5th. Keep going, because you are doing a great job at destroying your credibility and making it so nobody is going to want to vote for you. Now, Ann Vanderstill posted this on X, and it is The irony behind it all is absolutely crazy. And I want to point this out to you. She says, breaking, when Donald Trump wins, it will suddenly be okay to question election results. And we know this is true. Everything the Democrats have been losing their mind over when it comes to Donald Trump will suddenly be perfectly fine when he wins and Kamala Harris loses. They will flip it like nothing, and they will be the ones who are going to say that, the election was stolen, that something was rigged, whatever else. It will be perfectly fine to challenge elections. It will be mandatory to violently protest the election. The news will frame it as democracy stolen. They will call Trump illegitimate. The losing candidate, who is also the vice president, will refuse to certify the election. We talked about this a few days ago. The vice president is the one who has to certify the election. The irony behind that in and of itself is not lost on me. If Donald Trump wins, the Democrats will do everything they prosecuted Republican voters for doing. Okay? But they'll get away with it because, guys, that's where we are now. I know it and you know it. Everyone knows it. We've had 4 years of it and they're not going to stop now. Democrats don't want justice. They want a just us version of America. Trump is the only one standing in the way of that. It is no longer rhetoric or hyperbole to say Donald Trump is our last chance. And if you can't find the energy to go out and vote for him, you're only harming yourself and the 80 million American people like you, which I agree with 100%. Early voting is going on. November 5th is right around the corner. This election may be the most important election this country has ever seen, because if we continue to allow Democrats to run the country through the White House and wherever else, we are going to crash and burn. You already have Israel bombing Iran. You have all of our money going to Ukraine. You have issues with China and Taiwan. There's so much going on right now that I do not trust at all, do not trust Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to be able to keep our country and our citizens safe from what's going on outside of our borders, let alone what's going on inside our borders, because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are the reasons why the inside of our borders are completely fucked right now, with all of the illegal immigrants and all of the crime and the dirtiness of the city streets and the lack of money in people's hands and pockets because of inflation, the lack of money in certain cities because all of it's going to feed and house and clothe illegal immigrants and not actually help the citizens of their own cities and states. Another 4 years with Democrats at the helm is going to be detrimental to this country. Every 4 years that a Democrat is in charge, we see the things slowly deteriorate. Another 4 years, we're at the rock bottom. Where do you go from there? Is there anywhere to go from there? Do we get nuked because we have Kamala Harris at the helm and she giggles and laughs and pisses off other world leaders? Like, what's going to happen? You got to get out and vote for Donald Trump, not Kamala Harris. I beg of you, not Kamala Harris. That's that. Listen, I love y'all immensely. I do. If I didn't, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. You don't have conversations like this with people you don't care about, right? I care about y'all, and I know y'all care about the country. So have these conversations with other people. Spread the word of what is necessary on November 5th. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to make America great again, a vote to make America healthy again with RFK Jr., and a vote to secure our borders, and a vote to keep us out of World War III. So thumbs up to all of that. I love y'all, Squirrel Tribe. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a fabulous rest of your night. Goodbye.